Hello, I'm Kirk Davies, Rangeland scientist with the Agricultural Research Service at the Eastern Oregon Agricultural Research Center. I'm here to present Ag Minute. This week I'm going to discuss sagebrush obligate wildlife species. Sagebrush obligates require sagebrush rangelands for their survival. Sagebrush obligate wildlife species have come to the forefront in managing sagebrush rangelands. For example, there was a recent petition to list sage-grouse as a threatened species. The concern for sagebrush obligate species has arisen because of the loss, degradation, and fragmentation of sagebrush rangelands. Because livestock production in this area depends upon sagebrush rangelands as a forage base, we need a better understanding of sagebrush obligate wildlife species. The next few days, I'm going to discuss some sagebrush obligate wildlife species needs and management concerns. Sagebrush obligates require sagebrush rangelands for their survival. Today, I'm going to discuss pygmy rabbits. Pygmy rabbits, a sagebrush obligate, are smaller than cottontails and are found throughout the Great Basin and into the Intermountain region. Pygmy rabbits are generally limited to areas with deep soils with tall, dense sagebrush, which they use for cover and food. Pygmy rabbits need areas with deep, loose soils because they are burrowers. In the winter, their diets can consist of up to 99% sagebrush. Sagebrush cover is critical for pygmy rabbits, and thus its eradication is detrimental to them. The loss of sagebrush rangelands is probably the most important factor contributing to the pygmy rabbit population declines. Protection of sagebrush, particularly on deep soils that allow the growth of tall, dense stands, is vital to the survival of pygmy rabbits. This week I'm discussing wildlife species that require sagebrush rangelands for their survival. Today I'm going to discuss sage-grouse. Sage-grouse are a large chicken-like bird. However, they lack a muscular gizzard and cannot grind and digest seeds. Thus, sage-grouse must consume soft tissue foods. Sagebrush is a critical dietary component for sage-grouse. Most of the year, sagebrush consists of more than 50% of their diet, and in the winter it can almost be 100% of their diet. Sage-grouse numbers and distribution have decreased substantially due to the decreased fragmentation and degradation of sagebrush rangelands. However, in some areas, like southeastern Oregon, sage-grouse populations are stable or slightly increasing. Protection of large expanses of sagebrush rangeland is critical for sage-grouse. Today I'm going to discuss sage sparrows, a sagebrush obligate bird. Sage sparrows use sagebrush rangelands for breeding and nesting. Sage sparrows primarily nest in sagebrush canopies. Unlike sage-grouse and pygmy rabbits, sage sparrows do not eat sagebrush leaves. Their diet consists of seeds and insects. Also dissimilar to sage-grouse and pygmy rabbits, no data exists documenting a decline in sage sparrows' numbers or distribution. Management suggestions for sage sparrows are to protect sagebrush habitat from loss, degradation, and fragmentation. Though differences exist between sagebrush obligate wildlife species, their management needs remain very similar. Protecting sagebrush rangelands is the most important aspect to ensuring their continued survival. Exotic weeds, development, and extensive wildfires pose serious threats to sagebrush obligates. Exotic weeds and development can permanently decrease the amount of sagebrush rangelands and fragment the remaining habitat. Extensive wildfires can temporarily remove large tracts of sagebrush habitat and result in fragmentation, but are generally not a permanent reduction in sagebrush rangeland unless there is an exotic weed invasion. However, in areas experiencing many large wildfires or with low amounts of sagebrush rangelands,